Hello everyone, Derek's Damn Toys, and we are back with another action figure review. As you can see, I've been on my Ultimate Edition kick lately, as we've got another Ultimate Edition for you. We've got, well, I'm not exactly sure which series, but we've got the Damien Priest Ultimate Edition here in the house. Super excited to get into this one, but realistically, what figure review am I not super excited to get into? We got all the bullshit here on the back of the box, including a nice prototype shot and a nice in real life image of Mr. Money in the Bank himself, or Senor Money in the Bank. But yeah, you know, with all of that good shish being said, we've got this one mint on card, so why don't we take Senor Money in the Bank out of his plastic prison now, shall we? Or, well, he's not Money in the Bank anymore, it's now Seth Rollins technically, but, you know, I think we all knew that, at least as of recording this, Seth Rollins is. I digress, though, I digress. Let's get into this action figure review now. Alrighty, you guys, now that we've got this Damien Priest all out of his plastic prison, we can go all over these accessories and then get into that action figure review. But of course, first things first, these accessories. As you can see by everything laid out here in the ring, we've got 3 different sets of interchangeable hands, one of those being already plugged into the figure. We've got the mic holding / weapon holding hands already plugged in there. We've got the, like, Razor Ramon, John Cena, You Can't See Me hand, or the, like, Razor Ramon fucking, like, hand, like, I don't know what to call it, like, when he's walking down to the ring and he's got his hand out thing, I don't know. You've also got a set of fist hands to, you know, beat your opponent up. You've got some nice cloth goods along with a plastic good here that was actually kind of sticking to this, so I don't know if any of the tape left some residue, and it did, so be a little cautious. There's some tape that they do put on this that seems to have left some residue on the cape, but we're not going to go into that right now. We're going to get into these head scans. Kind of a little convoluted because I did start talking about the other accessories here, but first things first, we've got this head scan, which is him smiling. It's not the worst head scan I've ever seen, though. I'm not going to say I prefer it. It looks good, though. Definitely not my most preferred Damien Priest head scan, though. We've got this one of him yelling here, which looks a lot better. The beard paint apps look a lot better in my opinion compared to this one, though the beard seems to be put on a lot better on this one, as the beard's a bit more fuller there. Over here you get a little bit more of a fade going up into the beard on both sides, so I don't know, maybe this one's put on better. You can kind of be the judges of these 2 head scans here, but, you know, they're not bad head scans at all. If anything, one thing I will complain about, especially when it comes to this one that's on the figure, none of them have that blonde braid that's promoted on the back of the box, so that's a little disappointing there. But, you know, speaking of disappointing, we've got this oversized Senor Money in the Bank. And while I do appreciate that we at least get this custom design, because we don't really see the custom design briefcases at all. And of course this one's simplistic enough to where, of course they can make it. Then you got this nice cape here, nice cloth with a little bit of a nice hard plastic or hard rubber piece to hold it all together on the figure. We can take a nice look at this later, but I do love and appreciate a lot of this sculpting detail that goes into this. Super nice, super clean. I can't complain about it too much, except for that fucking nasty glue residue. I don't know what I'm gonna do about that being stuck on the cape. Makes me kind of want to not consider putting this on my figure until I can clean that off. But of course, Getting into the main man himself, Damien Priest, we've got this nice head scan that is technically a reuse. We did see this on his original Judgment Day figure, which, mind you, had purple streaks in the hair, so I don't see why we couldn't have gotten any color in these head scans at all. Beats me, but it's a nice head scan nonetheless. Probably my favorite Damien Priest head scan so far. We've got the nice little bits of chest tattooing there that we can see underneath the hair. We've got a little bit of tattoos here that cut off into the butterfly joint, which is kind of nice to see that. We've got a little bit more tattoo work here on the arms, I want to say, compared to his last figure, because it looks a lot more full compared to his last figure. But of course, knowing his good old pal Dominic Mysterio, they could have fucked up his tattooing on the one figure, and this one's just a lot better. Of course, I think it is just a lot more tattoos in general by this point in time, but I don't know. It is really nice though to see all this tattoo work either way. Speaking of the tattoo work, we've got a little bit of tattoo work here on the back of the figure here. Always a nice touch to see all the little intricate details as well, including in the attire, where we've got these nice little brown strips here that actually are textured. I can feel that when I rub my finger across the different sections there in the torso. Those are separate moldings compared to the rest of this top here, and that's always a nice thing to see. Speaking of molded on, all this stuff here on the crotch piece is actually molded on here, so you feel the little studs and stuff on the back pockets. Everything on this Damien Priest seems to be molded on, as we've got, well, they're not molded on, but they are sculpted removable gauntlets, blowing my mind here, just like with his first two Elite figures, the one in, or well no, his first Elite figure, the purple gear with the removable gauntlets. I love seeing shit like that, by the way, because for someone who records action figure matches, stuff like that can be such a nice touch when the piece falls off the arm or whatever. But speaking of a nice touch, we've got this double jointed pin in knees, and of course you'll never hear me complain about the pin in knees. I love me some good old pin in knees just because they tend to pose the best. As you can see, he has a pretty nice little kick forward there, a little bit of upper thigh cut, got some decent kick pad rotation there, along with some very nice foot articulation here. I can't complain about this Ultimate Edition at all as far as the articulation goes. The attire choice is nice. If anything, my only gripe is maybe we could have gotten a better torso. But at the same time, honestly, from afar, this torso looks pretty nice. Maybe it's because of the hair choice, like the way they did the hair on all three of these head scans. I don't know. But on top of that, why don't we get into some action figure comparisons, kind of like we did in our recent Seth Rollins review. Alrighty, you guys, now that we've got some of my other Judgment Day figures out, I didn't grab my Rhea Ripley. Could have very easily, and I honestly still really could. She's sitting right over there on my shelf. Just, I don't feel like walking through this hellfire of my toy room, as I have been in the middle of trying to clean stuff up, along with getting the arena like ready for this joint show, which, by the way, sneak peek into this little joint show that we're doing here. This arena is looking pretty killer. As you can see, we've got MJF versus Hammerstone. Hammerstone's second match in my pick fed, by the way, but yeah, I just don't feel like walking through that hellfire. But speaking of hellfire, with all the firepower of hellfire and brimstone, I was right. The Ultimate Edition does have more tattoo work that this figure over here does not actually have, and even if it does, it could have been misplaced on the figure. So yeah, it's kind of interesting to see, but at the end of the day, this is all my Judgment Day figures, and hopefully one of these days I can get my hands on that Ultimate Edition Dirty Dominic Mysterio. But until then, why don't we shut the hell up and we can get Damien Priest all posed up for the final pose and just kind of talk about what we like and what we don't like about this Ultimate Edition figure. Alrighty, you guys. Now that we've got Damien Priest all posed up with a double South of Heaven to Finn Balor and Dominic Mysterio, I'm going to try to hurry this one up so then that way hopefully this pose will kind of stay the way it is. Maybe I can get some action figure shots with this. As you can tell, I did switch out the elite head scan that I had onto this figure, and I threw that Dominic Mysterio bandana on there, and honestly it's pretty sick. But as you can see, the purple haired head scan honestly does add a nice touch to the figure. I don't know why they didn't add any of the color in his hair for his head scans for the Ultimate Edition, but at least some of his elites can hook you up there. But yeah, I guess with all that being said, let's get into the good, the bad, and the downright ugly when it comes down to this Damien Priest. At the end of the day, I do love this figure so far. It is a pretty nice figure. The head scans are a little bit iffy though, and the accessories are at least super nice and make up for the head scans in like all three of themselves. But the figure itself, minus the head scan, is almost a damn near perfect figure, and I almost highly recommend that you get this Damien Priest. But those head scans are kind of a dread, and I do not blame you if you don't. But if you do, and you have the elite that I just showed you, well, you can do a nice little fix-up right here with that. So what would I rate this figure on a scale of 1 to 10? Honestly, I'm going to have to give this guy a good solid 7 out of 10. The figure in itself really is not bad. I love the fact that the gauntlets are removable and stuff of that nature. But, you know, at the end of the day, I don't know if that really solidifies this man getting a good solid 8 to 9 out of 10. The 7 will do, especially with the head scans and how the head scans are. Not that they are bad head scans, but they could be a lot better. Of course, with all that being said though, the Dave Meltzer star rating portion of it, aka I just repeat the same rating but I put it in 5 stars instead of a scale of 1 to 10. We are going to give this man a good solid 3 out of 5 stars just to kind of match up with our 7 out of 10 scaling. But honestly, at the end of the day, when it comes down to it, when you get this figure in hand, it may be a little bit different for you. You may have higher opinions on it. You may have lower opinions on it. Maybe you're not a Damien Priest guy, and at that rate, I would recommend, why the fuck are you even getting this figure at that rate? But I digress. Nonetheless, solid Ultimate Edition figure right here, especially for his first time in the Ultimate Edition line. If you like what I did there, maybe leave a like. But you know, speaking of leaving a like, why don't we just get ready to sign out of here? I don't really have anything much else to say. So if you guys liked the video, feel free to like the video. But if you guys did not like the video, well, womp womp, I guess. But if you guys did like the video, well, you know, it'd be nice if you guys would like to go check out some of my other action figure content. We got plenty of action figure reviews. We've got pick fed content here, a match that honestly I feel like should be way higher in views by now, but 30 really ain't bad by my consideration. We've got more pick fed action, more reviews, plenty of reviews galore. Like literally, we've even got some unboxings here if you dig deep enough. So, you know, what are you waiting for? Go check out some of my other content if you guys did like what you guys seen here. But speaking of that, if you guys did like what you guys seen here, What are you waiting for? Feel free to subscribe. After all, it is free to subscribe, and we are currently on the road to 400 subscribers. Literally, we are 2 subscribers away. Good old solid 2. Just gotta give them a good old solid 1-2 piece, you know? And I'm at 400, but all that really takes is if you are currently subscribed, which I know a good chunk of you that are actually watching are not, based off of my returning viewers to new viewers. So I know a good chunk of you aren't. And if you're getting that good chunk, subscribe. And if you guys could, feel free to share this around with your mom, your cat, your dog, your brother, your sister, your mother. I said your mother already. Your father, your grandfather, your grandmother, your great-grandmother, your fucking future children. I don't care at this rate. Just share it with whoever you feel will enjoy this wrestling content. And with that being said, we are actually under 20 minutes for once. So I don't know what else to say other than, well, have a good rest of your day, night, evening, whatever the case may be. I don't know, I'm not in your time zone, but if I were, would I enjoy my time? Time can only tell, but we are out of here, so deuces, ooses, yay!